Raider Nation, something big is brewing in Vegas. Geno Smith has become the center of all the criticism, and he's carrying a label no quarterback ever wants. Meanwhile, trade rumors are heating up about a former top 10 pick who could finally fix that offensive line. Carroll has started speeding up the rookie plan. The staff is buzzing about a key return, and that last story, a total bombshell on defense. But before we break down all the details, let me talk to you for a quick second. Hit that subscribe button. It's free, it costs you nothing, and it keeps this Raider Nation conversation alive. Smash that like too, because that's how YouTube pushes this talk to more silver and black fans everywhere. And drop your thoughts in the comments. This space is ours. Trying. Geno Smith is right in the middle of a storm in Las Vegas, and honestly, the fan base is running out of patience. The guy came in with respect, a big contract, and even a draft pick price tag, but so far, nothing. 2 wins, 5 losses, and 10 interceptions. 10. This isn't just a slump, so it's a collapse of confidence. And when you wear silver and black, that hits different. To be straight with you, it feels like the experiment failed. Bleacher Report didn't hold back. They called Geno the Raiders' most disappointing player. And honestly, it's hard to argue. The offense isn't moving. The team can't get downfield, and he's making rookie-level mistakes on a veteran paycheck. CBS even ranked him the 30th quarterback in the league, ahead of only 2 rookies barely finding their footing. That's brutal. The Raiders have made bad bets on veterans before. Jimmy Garoppolo was a flop, but at least he didn't cost a draft pick. Gardner Minshew didn't last long, but his deal was cheap. Now with Geno, they traded a pick, paid big, and got bottom-tier production. What's crazier is that Carroll keeps defending him. The coach keeps pushing that whole compete mantra. Everyone earns their spot. But it's tough to buy that when your quarterback keeps playing awful and never gets benched. That kind of double standard eats away at a locker room. Players feel it when the talk doesn't match the action. If Carroll keeps protecting him, he could lose credibility fast. The truth is, Geno needs to show some life. He doesn't have to be Josh Allen. He just needs to stop throwing the ball to the wrong team. The defense can't keep carrying the load while the offense stalls. If this continues, the bench is coming, and soon. Raider Nation is already calling for it. Even the most patient fans have had enough. It's painful watching this team stuck in another cycle of failed quarterbacks. Every year it's hype, hope, and heartbreak. The difference this time is the price, way too high for such a low return. If Carroll wants to keep any respect, he'll need to make a bold move soon. Drop your take below. Can Geno still turn it around, or is it time for a change? Because the next rumor, my friend, points exactly that way. And here's what's buzzing around the insiders. There's a proposal on the table to fix the Raiders' offensive line, and it might involve a name most people had already written off. Evan Neal, the former number 7 overall pick, could be heading to Las Vegas. Yeah, the same guy who came out of Alabama as a physical freak but never found his footing with the Giants. To be real with you, this sounds like a classic Spytek style move. The team's struggling, the season feels lost, and this is the perfect time to gamble on cheap upside. Neal hasn't played since last year, injuries derailed him, and New York has already given up. They declined his 5th-year option. It's a classic buy low, hope it hits situation. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN threw the Raiders' name into the mix, saying this is the ideal time to move Neal, maybe just for a late-round swap. It makes sense. The Raiders' O-line has been a mess for years. Outside of Colton Miller, who's injured, nobody inspires confidence, but let's talk risk. Neal could be a total bust, and some think he's physically done. Still, with such a low price, it's worth the swing. The guy was an All-American and flashed legit talent. The Raiders have nothing to lose at this point in the season. If he works out, they get a young starter for pennies. If not, move on and refocus on the draft, and it doesn't stop there. Fowler also mentioned Braxton Jones from the Chicago Bears as another possible target. He's lost his starting spot but brings experience and is finally healthy again. The Raiders need reliable bodies up front to survive the rest of the season. What fires me up is seeing this front office actually trying something bold. Enough of waiting for things to fix themselves. Fans are tired of watching Geno run for his life every snap. It's time to give him, or whoever's next, real protection. Let me know, Raider Nation. Would you rather take a flyer on raw upside like Neal or go safer with someone steady like Jones? Because if this deal happens, it could spark real change in the second half of the season. There's a growing buzz inside the locker room that not many outsiders have caught on to. The Raiders are speeding up their youth development plan. And honestly, it's something the fans have wanted for a long time. Carroll is giving more snaps to the young guys, trying to get them NFL ready as fast as possible. One name standing out is wide receiver Jack Beck. The kid's still learning, but when the ball comes his way, it's usually a first down. Geno Smith even gave him public props, saying he's picking things up fast, finding space, and earning trust. And honestly, it sounded like Geno was relieved to finally see someone making plays. The bigger story here is Carroll's mindset. He's made it clear he'd rather see rookies make mistakes now and grow from them. During the bye week, he even said it's a little painful watching them stumble, but that's how development works. And for longtime Raider fans, you can feel the shift. The team's finally thinking long-term instead of just plugging holes. It's not just Beck. Guys like Dante Thornton Jr. are getting more snaps too, showing flashes of strength and upside. Carroll knows the roster lacks depth, so he's trying to turn these kids into reliable contributors fast. He even talked about eliminating error repeaters, guys who keep making the same mistakes, before mid-season. To be honest, it's a process that hurts. We're seeing drops, blown routes, bad reads, but if this team wants to climb out of mediocrity, this is how it starts. No competitive franchise grows without taking lumps on the way up, and with the season basically out of reach, there's no better time to bet on youth. What's cool is how the veterans are responding. They respect seeing hard-working rookies get real chances. It lifts the locker room, brings fresh energy, and changes the vibe at practice. So remember this name, Raider Nation, Jack Beck. This kid might become something special down the road. Drop a comment. Are you down with the youth movement, or do you think they should lean on the vets a bit longer? Because the next story shows how injuries are forcing this team to reinvent itself in real time. In the middle of all the frustration, the Raiders coaching staff finally has a reason to smile: the return of safety Lonnie Johnson. Not many talk about him, but if you followed closely, you know how much he's missed. He was supposed to be a key rotational piece on defense and special teams, but a preseason leg injury derailed everything. Now that he's back, the entire defensive mood has shifted. Pete Carroll was the first to highlight how valuable Johnson really is, saying the team recognized his worth in ways other organizations never did. He brings versatility, instincts, and a contagious energy. When he went down, it didn't seem serious until his absence exposed just how thin the secondary was. The Raiders' defense has been shredded by injuries, so any return feels huge. Defensive backs coach Marcus Robertson even joked that Lonnie's now the bionic man, coming back with a pin in his ankle and ready to go stronger than before. And honestly, he might be right. This group needs quiet leaders who do the dirty work without needing spotlight. To be real with you, this is the kind of story fans love. A guy who gets hurt, stays out of sight, but fights back and proves he still belongs. His return could free up other defenders to do what they do best. With Johnson back, Carroll can mix up coverages, dial up aggression, and finally open up the playbook again. After seeing how much this defense struggled against tight ends and crossing routes, any help is massive. The secondary's been gassed, hanging on week after week, and now they finally get some relief. The impact might not show up in stats right away, but real football people know presence and communication matter. It's just good to see this staff fired up about something after such a rough season. Every week's been a new injury or setback, but now they get some positive energy back. Let me know, Raider Nation. Do you think Lonnie can actually change the tone of this defense? Because the next story hits home for everyone still debating what the middle of this defense should look like. This one's going to hit the fan base hard. A lot of people still haven't moved on from Robert Spillane's exit, and now with Ellendon Roberts stepping in as the new Mike linebacker, the comparisons are flying. On one side, the former leader of the defense who's thriving with the Patriots. On the other, the veteran trying to hold it down in Vegas on a fraction of that salary. Spillane left after 2 intense seasons, over 300 tackles, 5 interceptions, and the respect of the entire Raider Nation. New England paid him big, and he's already leading them in tackles again. Meanwhile, Roberts signed a modest $3 million deal and has been solid, but not quite the tone-setter fans were used to. Honestly, replacing a guy like Spillane isn't easy. He had command, communication, and instincts that anchored the unit. Roberts plays more violently, sure, but he doesn't have the same coverage feel, and fans notice that. Against the Chiefs, watching him chase Travis Kelce was tough to stomach. To his credit, though, both players excel against the run. They're physical, fearless, and hit like freight trains. That part the Raiders still have. But once the ball goes airborne, the issues show up fast. Stats back it up. Quarterbacks have a rating over 100 when targeting Roberts, and that's a concern. What's interesting is that the Raiders actually tried to fill Spillane's void by offering Christian Ellis a hefty deal, but the Patriots matched it and kept him. That left Vegas to sign Devin White on a cheap 1-year deal, and while he leads the team in tackles, his consistency's been all over the place. Looking ahead, linebacker remains a question mark. Roberts and White are both on short-term deals, and the young guys aren't ready yet. The front office has to decide whether to spend big in free agency or draft someone early. Because let's be honest, the middle of this defense needs stability, and it needs it now. Drop your thoughts, Raider Nation. Did the team mess up letting Spillane walk, or should Roberts get more time to prove himself? Either way, this offseason is shaping up to be crucial in rebuilding the heart of this defense. After everything we've talked about, you can feel it. The Raiders are standing at a crossroads. Gino's wobbling, the line needs reinforcements, the young guns are earning reps, Lonnie's bringing back energy, and the defense is still searching for identity. This team is trying to find itself in the chaos. And through it all, Raider Nation stays loyal, because being a Raider means fighting, believing, and never backing down. Drop a comment. This space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes the silver and black. And stay tuned, because just when you think you've seen it all, the Raiders find a way to shock us again.